Cherry blossoms, called Sakura in Japanese, are a symbol of Japan. The gray winter city is suddenly covered with pink colors, and it represents the end of a long winter. Even though it's still a bit cold, people go out to see the cherry blossoms and have a stroll outdoors under the trees. It's something worth seeing in Japan. Today, I'd like to introduce you to cherry blossoms, when you should travel for cherry blossoms, and where are the good places to see the cherry blossoms in Tokyo, with the footage from last year. Hello friends, I'm at Shinjuku Gyoen National Garden. Shinjuku Gyoen National Garden is right next to the busy city of Shinjuku, and you can see lots of different natures all around the year, but it's especially famous for cherry blossom. We call it Sakura, and all of these we see behind is cherry blossom trees, different kind of cherry blossoms. And in 2 months, it's January, early January now, so in 2.5 months we start to see full of pink cherry blossoms. So today I'd like to introduce you to different spots to see cherry blossom in Tokyo. If you are visiting here for cherry blossoms, probably we should go over the basics knowledge about cherry blossoms to see the best of it. When we talk about the cherry blossoms in Japan, it usually means a specific species called Somei Yoshino. You see this Somei Yoshino literally everywhere in Japan, but according to one theory, it said that the origin is one store in Somei near Sugamo Station in Tokyo. Yoshino is a mountain with cherry blossoms in Nara and named after that. But there are a lot more different kinds of cherry blossom trees that I'll explain later in Shinjuku Gyoen part. Probably something you want to know the most is when you should travel to Japan if you want to see the cherry blossoms. Every year in March, the weather forecast on TV starts to talk about the forecast of the cherry blossoms. One is when the flower opens up, and the two is when it will fully bloom for each region. When the bud opens up, usually it's still too early to enjoy the gorgeous cherry blossoms. The important date is when the cherry blossoms are in full bloom. A few days before and after that date are the best. Then, when is that fully blooming date? In Tokyo, it was on March 27th last year, in 2022. The average of 30 years until 2020 was March 31st. Kyoto was on March 30th in 2022, and the average of 30 years is April 4th. So it was a few days earlier than the average last year, but in 2021 it was 8 days earlier. That means if you are visiting Japan for cherry blossoms, you can decide your date around these dates, depending on the length of your stay. Now that we know a little bit about the cherry blossoms in Japan, let's see where we can see the cherry blossoms in Tokyo. Tokyo has many famous spots to see cherry blossoms, but not all of them are the same. Many famous places are walk-through style, where you can walk under the trees and enjoy the view, while some places you can bring a picnic blanket and eat or sleep under the cherry blossom trees, which might be closer to the image of hanami, what Japanese call for viewing cherry blossoms. Now I'd like to explain the famous spots to see cherry blossoms in Tokyo and how you can enjoy your time there. Chidorigafuchi is a walkway in the north side of Imperial Palace, which you can walk through the path under the cherry blossom trees. It's not a place you can bring your picnic blanket. It's more the place to enjoy the view of the cherry blossom trees along the moat of Imperial Palace. There are about 260 cherry blossom trees there. In Chidorigafuchi, you might want to try a boat ride at the moat, so you can view the tree from different angles and have a quiet time with privacy. There is another park that is good for boats, and that is Ueno Park. Ueno Park has about 800 cherry blossom trees across the park, and it has been a symbol of Tokyo cherry blossom tree spots. You can see the sights of cherry blossoms with temples and shrines in a variety of different sceneries. If you see cherry blossoms in Tokyo, let's see it with the symbol of Tokyo. You can see many cherry blossom trees across Asakusa, but let's head to the river. Along both sides of the Sumida River, you'll see many cherry blossom trees. You can see the cherry blossom trees with Tokyo Sky Tree too. When it comes to the river, another river famous for cherry blossom is Meguro River in the west of Tokyo city center. The both sides of the river is covered with cherry blossom trees from Nakameguro Station to Gotanda and Osaki Station. Near the Nakameguro Station can be very busy, but not busy near Osaki and Gotanda Station. So for all of these places are amazing with great cherry blossom trees, but you might want to sit down with your picnic blanket and enjoy eating and sleeping. Then let's go to Shinjuku Gyoen National Garden. Shinjuku Gyoen is a must place for cherry blossoms. There are about 65 different kinds of cherry blossom trees, and more than 1,000 trees are there. So in Shinjuku Gyoen, there are many different kinds of cherry blossoms. And this one, Somei Yoshino, is the one we usually call Sakura. When Japanese people say Sakura, usually we have an image of Somei Yoshino. And this is a tree you see everywhere in Japan. But sometimes the Somei Yoshino is end of March to early April, or only lasts like a week or a little more than that. So in case you come a little too early, you can come to Shinjuku Gyoen and you can see different kind of cherry blossom. If you come later, you can see different kind of cherry blossom. All trees are well maintained and so beautiful. If you can go only one place in Tokyo, this is the place to go. The admission is 500 yen. During the cherry blossom season, sometimes they ask for the reservation in advance. So make sure to check their website before you go. The only important thing that you might want to know in Shinjuku Gyoen is you are not allowed to drink alcohol drinks. If you want to drink sake under the cherry blossom, then let's go to Harajuku. Ueno Park is the only large park in the Tokyo city center that has lots of spaces where you can sit down and put down a picnic blanket. It's an easy-going place that you can drink alcohol, so it can get very busy. But that is part of the viewing the cherry blossom, flower, foods, and people. There are plenty of more spots and little parks that you can see cherry blossoms. So it might be fun to walk around the city and find your favorite secret spots for cherry blossoms. My favorite is the shrine by Ueno Park. It's not a place I should introduce and ask you to visit all the way to come, but it's my favorite spot. Cherry blossoms are everywhere in Tokyo. Nihonbashi has several streets with cherry blossom trees. Behind Corridor Muromachi has different types of cherry blossom trees. Some places lit up at night, and a place to go at night is Tokyo Midtown in Roppongi. The cherry blossom season can still be chilly, so you might want to bring some warm jackets. Always better to wear more than less. But there are some warm spring nights, perfect for strolling around the city that is filled with cherry blossoms. Thank you for watching. Have a great trip to Japan. Have a great week until the next video.